Welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to be discussing the 10.1 patch notes which were released earlier on today. 10.1 is dropping tomorrow. It will be the normal maintenance time, down for 3 hours, but then 10.1 will be available alongside a new league, so speed runs and stuff. And we're going to jump in straight away to audio and subtitles. Added missing audio for Keena's Legacy collectibles. You can find more info, blah blah blah. Added the missing subtitles for the collectibles. They've changed the maximum rifle ammo capacity from 280 to 420, so if you're using a rifle, you've got more ammo. And then obviously it'll be added on top if you've got the shade watch, the levels, you've increased your ammo capacity from there as well. The Forge, the named holster, shield health bonus from 10% to 50. Foundry Bulwark, the armor regen got lowered from 3 to 1%, and they've added 50% shield health. For the loot, they've increased the minimum item power and chances for higher power items for several difficulties, resulting in higher average rolls overall. So the bare minimum you can get now is 60% instead of 50%. They've basically bumped it up a little bit to try and give us more of a reward from our time and effort. But I believe the rainbow rolls are still going to be there. So there's a slight increase on challenging, bigger increase on heroic and legendary. The caches that you can get in the game, they've increased the power of items from field proficiencies and dark zone caches to be on par with heroic difficulty now, up from challenging. They've also increased the power of items from clan caches to be on par with legendary, up from heroic, which is good. It's a once a week cache, that's how it should have been from the get-go. They've also increased the item power of legendary tier loot. It's going to affect all season caches. They've moved the general pool exotics from mission final boss loot to mission completion rewards. Like, to put context behind this for those of you that don't know, when you currently run a mission in the game and you get an exotic from the boss, if you're playing heroic difficulty, you have a 7% chance of it being any of the, I believe it was year 1 exotics and most of the year 2. Like the Bighorn and the raid exclusives, they're not included. But to make it easier for players to grind for specific exotics, for an example, when you're running Jefferson Trade Center, you've got Coyote as the final boss. If you see an exotic drop exactly how you see them in the game now, that is guaranteed Coyote's mask. If not, once it pops up at the top of your screen saying mission completed, in that list of things, so your credits, your XP, you will see an exotic cache. You then open that cache, that's a random exotic. Then with the skills, we're not going to go through all of these because a lot of the Hive ones are pretty much the same. But for the Chem Launcher, Reinforcer Repair Overtime Strength increased by 11%, and then this is pretty much exactly the same. They lowered the ammo from 3 to 2 when you're a skill tier 0, but now you get +1 when you're a skill tier 4. It's exactly the same with the Firestarter, Chem Launcher, the base ammo got lowered from 2 to 1. It now gains +1 ammo at skill tier 4. Then the Riot Foam now gains +1 ammo at skill tier 4, and so does the Oxidizer. So I don't understand what they've done. Like, it's almost as if skill tier 4 didn't actually award any extra ammo, which shouldn't be the case if all other skill tiers do. With the Hive, they've increased the base duration of all Hive variants from 50 seconds to 180. Chances are, if you're efficient at running missions on this game, you're not going to be in one area for 3 minutes. I don't understand why that's had such a big increase. And especially because if you look at this, like, it doesn't make sense to increase the duration. Because if we look, where is it? Here. Restore a Hive drone speed increased from +5% to +10 per skill tier. So your skill tier 6, you get 30% speed, you're going to get 60% instead. Your drones, the micro drones that come out of the Hives, are going to be so much faster. It's just stupid. Your Hive's going to run out because you're going to run out of charges way before the 50 seconds, but stupidly way before the 180. A lot of this stuff just doesn't make sense. Like, they've pretty much done the same stuff. Like, they've lowered the charges from 4 to 1, like for the Revive Hive, that's to stop the loadout change bug. And the Hive Restorer 1 now gains 4 charges per skill tier. They've lowered it from 12 to 8 as skill tier 0. Like, a lot of this is pointless stuff. They didn't need to mess around with these skills. The Shock Trap base cooldowns increased from 50 to 60. The durations increased from 30 to 60. You put a Shock Trap down, an enemy runs into it, they get shocked, it's disappearing. It's not going to stay there. So having a 60-second duration, there's no point. This one I thought was ridiculous. Not the AR damage, in PvP that was increased by 9%. Striker drone damage increased by 38% in PvP. That is crazy amounts of extra damage for that striker drone. The fire starter chem launcher explosion damage reduced by 50%. Deployed player skills now take 4 times more damage from hostile players. So are skills actually going to be able to, like, is it going to be good to run them because they take 4 times more damage? They're probably going to mess up with a lot of this stuff. So that could just be an instant destruction for your skills. But then we're going to look at these bug fixes, and this is why I say a title update is never a title update, because even though this is 0.1, this has, I'm going to say there's around 20 bug fixes there. Every single title update and the ones in between that they do, there are always just so many bug fixes. You get, I'm going to say, between 50 and 80 with every major title update. So I wouldn't class them as a title update because 9 times out of 10 they don't bring more content. We haven't had anything besides the raid for the last 4 months. There's been no new missions, no nothing. They've just been doing balancing changes. So it's more of a patch than it ever is a title update. But look at how ridiculous some of these things are. They fixed the delay between the EMP sticky bomb exploding and the start of the cooldown. So you shoot your EMP sticky bomb, you detonate it on an enemy, then there was a delay for it to start cooling down. The same with the Firefly. Look at this one. This one has fucking baffled me. Fix the blind the Firefly, failing to blind enemies. That skill has one job. Its only job is to blind enemies. This is a 16-month-old game. And the skill cannot do what it was designed and put in the game to do. Fix the Demolisher Firefly not working on support stations in Legendary difficulty. So anything else you want to target weak point wise on an enemy, or whatever they use, whilst you are running the Demolisher Firefly, it works. But support stations, it doesn't touch them. So that, in a way, is a good fix if players are running Demolisher Firefly. But Legendary's been out for a long time. Why is that still a bug? Fixed an issue causing Keena's Defender drone to become invulnerable when affected by a jammer pulse. This one's really confusing because the issue isn't using the jammer pulse. His Defender drone is just stupid. It disappears, sometimes it doesn't spawn, it doesn't work how it's supposed to work. It is not working as intended. Not only that, when you get into the Keena arena, bit of a weird word there, well, phrase, whatever, he blocks all of your skills. So I don't know how players are using a jammer pulse. That really doesn't make sense, but that's not the bug that's preventing mission completion on that one. So again, they haven't paid full attention, they haven't tested it, they fucked up, and they've just fixed something that was never really a problem. Or was a problem for some players, but not too many. They fixed the eliminate Guardians with another Guardians explosion challenge not completing in the Guardian Global event. If you take a look, that Guardian Global event isn't available, I believe it's 7 weeks. The very end of Season 2 is when that's available. And they're going back through the seasons and looking at all the stuff and trying to fix things that don't work way before it's time. They have 7 weeks to fix this, but they've done it now. Instead of focusing on the now and the problems that are currently affecting the game, they're going well ahead of time. Fixed an issue where only one of Lieutenant Grade bodyguards would deploy their shields in Operation Iron Horse. So yet again, more bugs in the raid. They had so long to make sure that a raid was working properly, and they made so many stupid mistakes with it. They delayed it, and there was delay after delay after delay. It was literally about 9 or 10 months late, and they still released it to the public with a load of bugs in there. Unlimited RPGs, the bodyguards not deploying their shields. There's another one, if you have a look here. Fixed an issue where players could spawn inside spawn closets in Operation Iron Horse. So instead of the enemies spawning there, players would spawn there. That's another bug on Jefferson Trade Center as well. If you die in the final arena with Coyote, if someone on your team finishes off that mission and it's given you a loading screen and you spawn back in, it will spawn you at the very top of the stairs at the beginning of the previous area. You run all the way through, the doors are closed. You have to fast travel on a teammate in order to get back into that arena and check your boss loot. Look at this one. This, I don't get it. Fixed Termite League activities appearing as completed under certain circumstances. That league is over. You cannot participate in that league anymore. So, why have they fixed it? It was like when I said before, why are they fixing global events that aren't available? Because they fucking recycled them. for Season 2. So why are they fixing Termite League stuff? Because they use exactly the same mechanics, conditions and everything for the leagues. It's all copy-paste content in the seasons, so they fix that and it automatically fixes for the other ones because there's no other reason to fix it, and that's why Manning National Zoo had an 18-minute timer, because these devs are lazy, they don't test anything. They had one of the heroic strongholds set up for an 18-minute timer. They thought, fuck it, we're going to just drop down to challenge and difficulty, put that same timer on the zoo, there you go, job done. Wasn't as simple as that because 18 minutes was ridiculous. But they literally they sat there on State of the Game and said, we're not going to give you survival, blah blah blah, it's not as easy and not as simple as copy paste. Well, you're showing that it is, because you're fixing bugs for things that aren't available in the game right now because you're recycling it. You're copy pasting it and just putting a different skin on it. Literally all of these upcoming leagues with the speed trials, speed runs, time trials, whatever you want to call them, for the rest of Season 2 are all just reskins. Fixed an issue that would allow players to spawn another Kajika if defeated very quick. So when you go and take down the mission, I can't remember which one it is. I think it might be Pathway Park. I'm pretty sure the Tombs is Theo Parnell, Pathway Park is Kajika. Not 100% sure, but if you go into that final boss fight and you take down Kajika quick, he will just fucking respawn. Why is it coded in for him to even have a spawning option? Like, he runs through the mission with you, so the very beginning of the mission, he spawns in, he runs through, winds you up a little bit, blah blah blah, you get to the end, there he is. So essentially, like, he spawns in for the final part, but why is it that he has one of the lines of code in to allow him to respawn at all? That shouldn't be the case. I can't believe that one of the bosses in New York, if you kill him too quick, he will just spawn again. Fixed a named NPC not spawning during the final boss fight in the invaded version of Space Admin HQ. How does that bug get into the game? Invaded missions have been in the game for so long. How does something like that break? That's because these developers are idiots. They chose from Division 1 and using a certain type of programming, they chose to make it more advanced. And instead of having like 15 nodes for animations on NPCs, they now have 30,000. It's called low level, but it basically means it's more complex. They've decided to use that system and now they can't control it because they don't know how to use the programs that they've chosen to use. So something that's been in the game, I'm going to say at least a year. I'm pretty sure Invaded stuff come out before, like within 4 months of the launch of the game. I can't remember exactly, but something that's been working this whole time is now broken and they've had to fix it. Because whenever they go and do something, they always fuck up another line of coding. They've always done it, every single title update. Fixed FPS drop when opening multiple leaderboards. No such thing as opening multiple, you're only allowed to open one leaderboard at a time. And the FPS drops are insane. You literally drop to about 5 FPS on console. I really, really hope that that is fixed. Like, I want to be able to see my leaderboard smooth how I was able to before TU10. Fix the inability to remove facial hair at the barber. How do you break a barber? You don't need to touch their coding. It's never been a problem that's been reported before, so why is it a problem that you've got to fix now? How is a barber related to anything else you've done in the past 5-6 title updates? It's just stupid how this stuff has actually made it into the bug fix list. I do not understand it. But on that note, I'm going to leave the video there. It's been a little bit longer than I would have liked it. They've got some stupid stuff in these fucking patch notes. They've only just increased rifle capacity to 420. It's an extra 140 rounds and they've only just done it. They keep messing around and unbalancing things, and then the next title update they have to balance it again. When something, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's a very good quote that I live by. If something isn't broke, you don't fucking fix it, because it doesn't need fixing. It's not broken, and a lot of this stuff in the game is not broken, but they try and fix it. They break even more, or they break that even further. The revive hive again is a problem in this game. It has been since the game first come out. These developers do not have a clue what they are doing with this game. At all, in the slightest. Instead of focusing on fixing bugs and all that shit, they're showing rubber ducks and teddy bears. Yeah, because on a PEGI 18 game where a lot of adults are playing, you want to go on a fucking duck hunt. I'm done with this video. I'm going to test out TU 10.1. I really hope the loot is at least a little bit better. But we'll see. I'll be back then. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.